Hello and welcome to today's class. This is the continuation of the classes that we've been having. And today we are going to be learning something simple. Actually, we've used it in our classes, but we've never covered. It's very simple, just a simple concept. Then next week, as we agreed, we are going to be learning a new concept. So today we are going to be the we are going to be learning the operators in Python. We are going to be learning the operators in Python, and we have three types of operators. So hope you are able to hear me and see the screen at the same time. So this is what we are going to be learning. Actually, it is very simple. We've been using maybe just a few things that we've not covered. Otherwise, most of the things that we are going to be learning today, they are they are not that hard to you, except the last one. So if time allows us, we will see arithmetic operators, assignment, logical and comparison operators. But we have this one which is much more important. If time will allow us, we'll cover that one because we have only 30 minutes for today. So we will cover dictionaries. If you can remember when we were learning about data types and specifically the collections, we were not able to cover the dictionaries and the tuples. So we are going to see that if we get time. But this is what you are going to be learning today. So what arithmetic operators are, they are just used to perform the basic mathematical operations. Like you want to add something. If you can remember yesterday, we were trying to calculate the basic salary of a person based on the places where they work, if it is an hardship area or not, and whether they are able to get the the hardship allowance or not. So we were able to do that because we were adding something. We were adding the hardship allowance to the basic salary that the person is getting, so that we know the net, the one that the salary that we are supposed to give this person. We also said that there are other considerations. So for example, sometimes we may need to consider the number of hours. Maybe you have a rate. Maybe you are paying someone maybe let's say $2 per hour. So if this person works for 8 hours, then you need to calculate the you need to calculate maybe the commission or the allowance or the salary based on the number of hours that this person is working. So that is where the arithmetic operators and operations comes in, because everywhere in the system you'll find yourself doing some calculation. You want to know something. You want to know whether this person, if you can remember, I think last week part one we were seeing a scenario whereby we are asking someone their date of birth. Of course, we did ask the age at that time, but I told you in real life, or whenever we are creating systems, we usually ask the person their date of birth, and based on that, we are able to calculate their age. So for us to be able to do that, we are using these operators. So we have these operators. I know most of them are common, maybe except the last three. So we are going to try to see each and every one of them. Then I'll focus much on the last three. I know it may be uh, new to some of you, but I know the first ones are straightforward. Like the first one here is plus, which is meant for addition. Whenever you are adding, like yesterday, we were adding the hardship allowance and the basic salary, we were using the plus operator, this one. So, and subtraction, if you want to find the age, we know the day for today's date and year, and we know the date of birth of a given person, then we are able, based on that, to calculate the age of a person. So we are using the subtraction, which is minus operator. And then we have use this asterisk for multiplication. So for multiplication, we use this asterisk, this one. So you'll find this one in your computer. So we use that one for multiplication. We said if we want to if the people who are working for us are paid based on the number of hours, then if I work for 8 hours and you are paying maybe $1 an hour, then I'll use the multiplication operator to be able to determine the total amount based on the number of hours that I have worked. And division, we use the division. We use this one, the forward slash for division in Python. Then we will see this the last three in detail. The first one is the reminder. This one, the modulus operator, will always return the reminder after dividing some values. So we have examples here. You can also follow along, and we have exponential whenever you are doing some calculation involving exponential, maybe 5 raised to 2, uh, finding the squares and all that. You will use the exponential operator. And the floor division, you divide a number, then it excludes the remainder. For example, we are dividing 5 by 2, so we expect to get 2.5 or 2 point something, but it will just give you the lowest value. So it's like the opposite of rounding up. So instead of if it is 3 point something like 2, it will give you 3 as the answer. So it is flowing. It is flowing. That is why we are calling the flow division operator. So maybe we can just have a look, especially the last three, because I know you are much familiar with most of them. So this is what we were using yesterday. Let me create another file uh, and call it Sunday 22nd .py. Remember, Python files end with the .py. So if you want to do addition, so because we've learned functions, we are going to be using functions here. So I want us to take the first number as number one, and we are asking the user to give us this number. And if you can remember, everything that we receive from the input is always treated as strings. So we are supposed to convert this number. We are supposed to convert this number to integers. That is why I'm passing the int here to convert whatever the number the user will give us to integer. And then we have the second number. The second number, we can also ask the person to give us the second number. Then we can have a function called maybe add, for adding two numbers. And we are taking the inputs. If you can remember what we discussed yesterday, we are taking the inputs of the a and b, representing the first number and the second one. We can say sum is equals to a plus b, and this function returns the sum. This function returns the sum. So we can do this way. But also I just want to comment this and use another way. So I'm using multi-line comments. So we can do it this way, or we can just do it this way. Instead of having another variable here, we can just return the sum of a and b like that. We can just return directly. So this is the functions. This is the function that takes two parameters a and b and returns the sum of a and b. Okay. So Then we can print the value. I'm calling this function with values that the user gave us, which is num1, and the second number, like that. So let's run and see. So Python and the name of the file, which is the second 22nd. So the first number, if it is 25, and the second number, if it is 10, the, the sum is 35. The sum is 35. So just like that. So the sum is 35. So that is how we can calculate whenever you are adding anything. Like yesterday, if you can remember, just to take a snip of that, you are calculating the net pay based on the basic salary and the hardship allowance. So this is where whatever we are learning come in whenever we are having this whenever we are building the system. You'll find yourself doing some calculations. So that is how we do the addition. And we can have another function, uh, call it difference or subtraction of a and b, and this functions returns the difference of a and b, like that. So if we do the same, I just realized that I was not having a space here. So let me bring these ones here so that you are able to see all of them clearly. So this time around we are calling the subtraction to find the difference of a and b. And if we run this function, the first number is 30 and the second number is 10. We expect 20, and that is the difference. So the difference is 20. We can use the formatted strings. We can use let's use in the next one the formatted strings, so that we try to incorporate whatever we've been learning. So the third one is the product multiplication. Remember we said we are using the asterisk sign, this one. So it returns the product of A and B. It returns the product of A and B. Let me clear the terminal and rerun the program. The first also we will not call, so we are supposed to call the product. And if it is 20 and 30, okay. So it was still finding the difference because we called this program. We had already called the program when I was changing here. So let me rerun. As you can see, this the difference of A and B, which was here, is -10. It was running this one. So let me rerun. Sorry. So let me rerun the program once again. 30 and 20, and the product is 600, as you can see. So that's how we find the product of a number. And then finally, the division. I know most of you understand these ones. That is why I'm rushing so that we can see the last ones. So these ones give the divides, maybe division. So A divided by B. So this returns A divided by B. Remember, you can use the long way like I did here. Uh, and you can also do it this way. So you check the one that you prefer. You can create another variable like this. You can create another variable here and return that variable, but you can also return them directly. So that makes your code more clean and easy to read and understand. So if we run this one, so the first number is 40, and the second number is 5. And as you can see, the the output here is 8.0. So the output here is 8.0. And then we now come to the modulus. So if we are dividing a number and we want to find the remainder, we use the modulus operator. Use the modulus operator. That is the percentage sign in your computer. What this one does, it returns the remainder. It returns the remainder. So if I'm dividing 9 divided by 3, so because this is divisible, the remainder is 0. If I'm dividing 9 divided by 4, so 9 divided by 4 will be 2, and then the remainder is 1. If it is 9 divided by 2, it will be 4, and the remainder is 1. So sometimes we may use or we use this one whenever we are finding maybe the divisibility test for a given number. We can use the modulus to check for that condition and the control flow uh, and the control flow. Okay, so like that. So we have this one divided by this one, the remainder. So it gives us the remainder. So this one is the modulus, or the remainder, product remainder, or you just call it modulus. So remember to always use the meaningful names whenever you are creating functions. So if the first number is 45 divided by 5, we expect a 0. Okay, so we expect a 0, and here, as you can see, 45 divided by 5, it is always it's divisible. So that is why we are getting a 0. What about 45 divided by 4? 45 divided by 4, it is the remainder is 1, because it will give you 11, and the remainder is 1. What about finally 3 and then divided by 1? The remainder is the remainder is 0. The remainder is 0. What about 5 and divided by 10? So 5 divided by 10, the remainder is 5. The remainder is 5. So irrespective whether this number is 0 point, okay, this will be 0 point something 0, and the remainder is 5. So it will always give you the remainder of a given whenever you divide a number by another one, the modulus operator will give you the remainder of that after of that division that you made. And for exponential, we use the double asterisk. So the first asterisk, like that, is for multiplication. If you use a double, it will mean exponential. It will mean exponential. So just note that whenever we are doing that, because they are similar. So if you are using a single asterisk, it will be it will be finding the product or multiplication. If it is twice or two asterisks, then you are finding the exponential. And we can see that we are finding the exponential. So this one is finding the exponential, and we can return that one exponential, like that. So if it is 2 raised to 2, we expect 4. If it is 5 raised to 5, we expect 25. So 5, that is the first number, exponential 5, we get 25. If it is 10, exponential 10, we get 100. If it is 12 exponential 12, we get, sorry, 12. Okay, I didn't write. If it is 12, and then the second number is 12, we get 144. So that is how exponential works. It's how exponential works. Sorry for that. Okay, and then we have the floor division. So if you've noticed, exponential and exponential and if you've noticed, exponential and multiplication uses the same symbol. They use the same operator. So multiplication use single asterisk, while the exponential uses double asterisk, like that. So you need to know that one. You need to know that one, and also the division and float division uses the same. So if it is one forward slash, that will mean you are dividing. If it is double forward slash, then you are you are finding the flow of that number. So you have to note the two of them so that you cannot confuse. Because if you interchange, you're trying to find a division and you are using this one, you are going to get a wrong value because this one does the flow division while the other one does the division. The same case for multiplication. You are finding the product of number of some numbers. If you use double asterisks, that will mean exponential, and maybe you are intending to find the multiplication or the products of those numbers. So just note that whenever you are doing the calculations. So that's what we are saying. If it is the floor division, if it is the floor division, so if it is the floor division of two numbers, we use double forward slash. So if we rerun this one, sorry, I'm running the exponential. It's supposed to be floor division like that. So okay, I wanted to end that one. So the floor division, 12 divided by 5. So 12 divided by 5, it will be 2 because you'll find that 12 divided by 5 is 2 point something. I want to run both of them at the same time so that you can see the difference. So I'm running the float division and the normal division. So the second one, or let me have this one as the first one here. So I want to run both of them at the same time so that we can see the difference. So the first number is 12 and the second number is 5. So the normal division, it should be 2.4. It should be 2.4. But because we are finding the floor, it's 2. It assumes this other value. So it gives you the lower value, value of that within that range. So let's try another number. If it is 14 divided by 5, as you can see, this one, the normal division, it should be, the answer should be 2.8. But this one is giving us 2. So it is not rounding off. Don't confuse with rounding off, because if we were to round off, 2.8 will round up to the nearest, the highest number, so it will be 3. But the floor, irrespective of that one, it gives us the lowest number, so it assumes the decimal place and gives you the nearest whole number. So just like that, once more, 15 and we have 4. So it's 3.75, but the flow gives us 3. So always remember that. Always remember that. So that is all about the operators. It's very simple and straightforward, except for the last three. So try to do more exercises on the last three. And if you scroll to the last part, I've included an exercise here that will help you to. This first exercise will help you to incorporate all that, to incorporate what we learned yesterday and what we are learning today. Like this one is asking you to write a program that takes two numbers and calculate the sum, the difference, the product, division, and remainder. Sorry, that is modulus. So what you are supposed to do here, you have one function. What you are supposed to do, you have one function that will accept a number and give you all this. If I give a number like we've been doing here, I give 14 and 5, it should be able to tell me the product of 14 and 5 is this, the difference is this, the addition of these two numbers, the sum is this one, the explanation is this one. So based on what we've been asked here. So just to give you an hint, because this actually doing the exercise will help you understand rather than just following along and rather than following along. Whenever you try to do this exercise, it will help you to think through it. And whenever you find a challenge or it can work, you try a different way. By the time you manage this one, you'll understand something. So I don't want don't don't have a function for some differently uh, for product and all this. Just have one function that does this. So I'm giving you an int. I'm going to share this in our group so that you can work with it. So I'm going to what you are supposed to do, you have these functions again like the ones that we've done here. I'm going to share also this file. So we have these functions. I didn't delete them. So we have these functions. What you are supposed to do, you are supposed to have now the main function. Usually in the program we'll have different functions, maybe function to register new users, function maybe to update maybe the times that a given person is working if it is a payroll. Then we have another function for calculating the amount they are supposed to receive. We have another function if it is automated for dispersing the payment. Then we have the main function that now incorporate all these functions. So what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to create a main function, and that function, that is where you are going to be passing these values. And inside that functions, you call these other functions. You call these other functions. So I want you to try. Just have, remember we say yesterday you can call another function inside that function. So try to have a main function that will incorporate all this. Think of it as maybe a calculator that you are creating. So if you are creating a calculator, you'll have you'll give some numbers, and based on that you can decide whether you want to find the product, the difference, the exponential, and all that. So I want you to try to do the same. Just have a main function that will call these other smaller functions, and whenever I pass a given number to that function, it will be able to give me all these: the sum, the difference, the product, the division, and the modulus. So if you are able to do that, you'll have understood first the arithmetic operators, but more so what we learned yesterday on functions. What we learned yesterday on functions. So you'll have achieved that. You'll have achieved that. So that is it for arithmetic operators. Unless you have any question, you can always raise, and you can also raise in our group. I'll respond appropriately. And then we have the assignment operators. The assignment operators. Most of the time we've worked with this one, the first one when we are declaring the variables, and somewhere we've worked with this one, somewhere we've worked with this one and this one. We've not worked with the rest. So assignment operators, we are assigning values to given variables. Just for example, we have a person, the name of a person. I know we've been doing this several times. So that person has the first name. So this is a variable that we declared to represent the first name of a given person. Or think of number one that we've just used in the arithmetic operations. So this is a variable that will represent the first number that the user gives us. So we want now to associate, we want to assign a value to this variable. We want to assign a value. That is why when we are calling this here, that is why when we are calling this function here, we are calling with num1, and we are saying find the division of number 1 and num2. We are not giving 15 and 4. We are giving num1 and num2 because we have assigned we have assigned 15 as the first number, and we've assigned 4 as the second number. So whatever is in the right hand side is assigned to the left. So just like here, when we say x is equals to 5, we are assigning 5 to x. So in the memory, remember variables, we say that they are the holders. They hold the memory, or that we are going to use. So in the memory, there is a space. There is a space for x, and that x has a value of 5. It has the value of 5. So there is a location in the memory. There is a location in the memory that has been given for x. So same goes to these others. So if we say x plus is equals to 3, x plus is equals to 3, what we mean, it's like we are saying x is equals to x plus 3. So whatever the value of x plus 3. So if x is equals to 1, x plus equals to 3 will be 4, because it will be x is equals to 1, which is the value of x plus 3. So this is also assignment operators. And we can also do the same not only for addition, we can do the same for subtraction, we can do the same for multiplication, for exponential, like all this that you are seeing here. All this that you are seeing here, we are doing the same. We are assigning. We are assigning. So just for example, so if we have here maybe sum. Okay, let me call this what? Let me call it operators. So let me call it operators. So if I have A and B, and I say sum is equals to A plus P, if I say sum is equals to A plus P, or I want to change the value of A. So if maybe I want to change the value of A to be able to be A is equals to A plus B. So if I do this, if I say A plus is equals to B, then I'm changing the value of A to whatever the user gave us. Okay, that is the same thing. Let me comment. So whatever the user gave us, then we are adding B to that value. So if the user gives us 15 for A, then the new value of A will be 15 plus 4. So that will be 19. So whenever we are doing the flow here, it will be A, which is now 19, minus uh, uh, flow B, which is 4. So it's just the same. It's just the same. So if I say x is equals to x minus 1, instead of doing that, you can just say x minus is equals to 1. So this will mean the same thing. This will mean the same thing. It's like x is equals to x minus 1, or the same for multiplication and the rest. So it's the short form. Instead of doing this, we always do this to save on space and time and to make your code more readable. Like this one is much more readable than the other one. So these are assignment operators. These are assignment operators. So we usually work with them also whenever we are doing the calculations, or whenever we are declaring variables. Every time we've been declaring variables, like here, like we have been declaring variables. This is the first number and the second. We were using the assignment operator. We are using the assignment operator. So it assigns the value. It assigns the value. It assigns the value. Okay. So we have that for assigning values. If we can go back to yesterday, we were assigning whatever the user gives us to the name. So we are assigning whatever the user, because we are asking the user their name. And whatever the user gave us, we are assigning it to name. Same goes to the city. You are assigning here the basic salary, like at 10,000, we are assigning to this value, so that whenever we are doing the calculation, instead of having here net pay is equals to 10,000 plus that, remember you can do that, but think of it, if you are using this basic salary to calculate, to compute many things, and all of a sudden there is an increase, or there is an increase in the basic salary, then you'll have to go everywhere in the code to find where that basic salary is to convert. If you were to use here, we'll have 1,000 here. We just come, if there's an increment of maybe 1,000 to be 11,000, you have to change it everywhere. But if we assign this basic salary to this given value, if there is a change, we'll just change that value. That is the importance of variables. I think we did discuss that. I just wanted to show you that we are assigning this value to the basic salary. Same goes to this list. We have the list of three counties: Marsabit, Kitui, and Kajiado. We are assigning this value of hardship area. So this variable hardship areas will be holding this list. We are assigning this list to hardship areas. That is why you were able yesterday to work with that list. You are able to work with that list because we've assigned this value. And whenever we work with this list, we are able to determine the net pay of a person based on where they work or where they come from. So all along we've been declaring variables. Even if you can see these ones for the past class, we were declaring variable. We were assigning values. So we were assigning values here. We were assigning this 20,000 to tuition, and all the rest and the rest and the rest, all of this. So we usually use this most often whenever we are writing codes. So that is assignment operators. What I want you to do, because we are ending the session, so we'll start from there next week. We will start from logical operators, and logical operators much more important, uh, and of course the dictionaries. So what I want you to do, we have this second exercise. The second exercise asks you to write a program that asks the user for a number and performs the following: add number to add 10 to the number, multiply the result by 2, subtract 5, divide the results, and print at each step. So what we are doing, we are assigning. The first time this user gave us a number, let's say 10, and then okay, let's use instead of 10, because let's say this person gave us 3. We are told to add 10 to the number. So if the number was x is equals to 3, then we are reassigning. So we print first the value that the user gave us, then we are we are reassigning the value of x to be equals to 10 plus the number that the user gave us. So 10 plus whatever the number user gave us. We multiply the result by 2. So you still, like, we are reassigning. So until the rest, and you print at each step. So what I want you to do today is to try to do these two exercises. You can proceed to the rest if you know Python, and as a challenge also, but the rest will cover the rest next week. So I want you to try to do the first and the second question. I'm going to share immediately after this. I'm going to share this PDF, this document, so that you can try to work around it. So try to do the first and the second exercise. I will also share the one for yesterday, so that you can also work around it. And I'll also share this file that we used today. So I'm going to share this immediately in our group, so that you can work around it. So that's all about the that's all about the assignment operators, and the assignment operators and arithmetic operators. So what usually happens, if you really want to understand the code and the flow, try to work around, try to do some calculations yourself, try to work around and try to change. Whenever I share this file with you, try to work with that file. So if you are able to do something, even if you are making errors, the more you practice, the more you perfect on your skill. So if we just attend class and you don't practice, it will be difficult for you to understand. So what I'm urging you is, go after this, try to work around, try to have your own values and see how it goes, and you will be good to go. If you continue, if you do these practices every now and then, and also the exercises, if you manage to do that exercise, it will help you. At the end of this, you'll have gained something. So that's what I'm urging you. And thank you very much for joining. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being part of this. You can always invite your friends to our group. We are sharing everything regarding this in our WhatsApp group, which is also attached to the description for this video. In case you missed the past classes, you can also find them in the description for this video. So next week, we are going to finish on what we are not able to finish today on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we are going to start a new concept, working with files. Just think of it this way. We've been we've been asking users to give us their the last name. But think of it, if we were to save these names somewhere. Remember, whenever we end this program, if you can remember the terminal that I was running, every time I run the terminal, the values or whatever the input that the user gave us previously will be discarded, and we have the new ones that they are giving us. So in a real system, or in a real world application, you will tend to save somewhere this information. So, and next week, I want us to see how we can save in a file. Maybe we create an Excel to help us to save the information regarding the users of a given system, so that whenever we are calculating this, we can be having a database. So we can be having a database. Remember, we can use Excel as we can keep the information in the Excel. So we are going to see how we open files, how we write into those files as the user give us the information. So that's very important. Make sure you attend that class. Also invite your friends, and you can also subscribe so that you don't miss on any update whenever we have one. And finally, I will try to, if I get time, I'll try to record a session on whatever we didn't finish today, so that once we come next week, we'll just do the files, because I know it's very wide, and we cannot rush files like we did today, because whatever we were learning today was much simpler. So next week, if possible, if I get time, I'll record the remaining part on dictionaries and the logical operators, uh, so that once we come next week, we start on Saturday, work on files, and wind or finish on Sunday, so that we'll be able to cover it. So otherwise, thank you very much. Thank you for your support. Uh, I wish you a nice week. Let's meet on Saturday. In case of any question, you can always ask in our group, and I or any other person will be able to respond, especially if you have a question. Thank you so much, and God bless you.